Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and welcome to the show. I am, despite the frequency of these videos, I am getting faster at being able to record. Look, this was a solo workout. I brought the camera in on a weekday. It was a Thursday morning, so I blasted out quads. And I was really able to move pretty gingerly today, which I was really excited about. You know, a lot of these guys on YouTube really don't talk a lot about, like, camera etiquette, gym etiquette, all the rest. But I have a difficult time not set up and do all the rest. But I feel so bad for people that are moving around me and realizing, like, hey, you're videoing. Like, somebody today during my workout, I was doing a drop set on squats, and he said, hey, you got a few more left. And I was like, yeah, I just doing a drop, and it's all yours. And then I finished my drop and fucking was done. And then he came up after I kind of folded up my tripod and everything, and he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you were on camera. I was like, I don't really care. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you want to come up and talk to me during my workout or whatever, like, approach, like, it's cool. And look, you want me to shut the camera off, I'll shut it. You want me to turn it, I'll turn it. You know, whatever you want me to do. I really don't have much problem with that. You know, but I do feel a little badly some of the people in the background, or some people that just don't necessarily speak up or say something, especially, I mean, on the stature I'm at. So, you know, I know that might be a little bit more difficult or challenging or intimidating. I try not to be intimidating while I'm in the gym. Maybe it's the beard, I don't know. But anyway, we're doing quads, just quads. I've recorded enough hamstrings and glutes for you guys, and chest and back and all the rest. So now I want to really just, you know, nail down quads and get you guys that workout. I think I'm also going to try to record shoulders tomorrow and then do a voiceover to that too, so you guys can understand it. But warming up and fatiguing the quads out right out of the gate with some leg extensions. We're doing 5 sets, so 1 warm-up set and then 4 heavy sets. Again, the rep range here, you know, the warm-up might be 12 or 15, but then the heavy sets is going to 10. That's the objective. There's only a few exercises through most of the workouts I have that are getting me down to like 8. And that's going to be like some big movements like squats or things like that, which, by the way, I'm doing hack. I'm not doing barbell, or I'm doing Smith. I'm not doing barbell. You know, I'm going to be on a machine. I'd love to sit back and say doing barbell squats is the way to go. But in my mind, it's the same thing as fucking barbell benching. It's not, fundamentally, it's not necessary anymore. I'm okay doing a Smith. You know, you watch Hadi, Samson, all of them, none of them are actually doing barbell squats. And if they do, mazel tov, good for them, go for it, do what you got to do. But for me, honestly, like Smith or hack, I'm fine. Pendulum, belted, with all different variations, but at the end of the day, like, here we go. We're going to go into squats. So the first set, 12 reps, just to get the motion down, understand how the body's moving today, how the knees are doing, all the rest, which, look, I have arthritis in my knees. It's just par for the course where I'm at. So, you know, am I going to get ass to grass with a lot of stuff? No, because my knees are really, it is what it is. Now, my quad development, you can say what you want, but my quad development's pretty fucking spot on, and we're obviously going to get bigger and badder and better. But at the end of the day, you guys can criticize my squat technique or my pendulum squat technique or my lunge technique, but frankly, I have to protect my knees. You know, if I can keep the focus and the pressure on the muscle, I'm happy to do so. But ass to grass, look, unless I'm doing the bar or almost nothing, can I? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I need to get load. So I need to have the quads stimulated appropriately. So you're just not going to see, you know, an ROM that really is going to make a ton of sense in regards to what a formal official squat's going to be. You know, we're getting a little bit more into goblets or pendulums, and even doing goblets on the pendulum where, you know, your feet are out a little bit more and all the rest. That's a little less pressure on my knees, which is great, but then I'm getting a lot of inner quad there too. But this is where, you know, I go to seated position and back up. I'm moving at a good pace. I could be a little bit better on the negative, but I am getting to the top, doing a slight squeeze to the quad, and then going back down. So we do 12-10, then 8-8-8 with a drop set. So it's going straight for the 3 plates on either side. and going for the big boy set. So again, this is where like that one exercise, this whole entire workout is the only time I'm going down to 8 reps, and then I'm doing a drop set after that last set of 8 reps. And it was in between like here or whatever. I want to say the guy came up and was like, oh, how many sets you got left? And I was like, oh, I'm just doing a drop. So one of these sets, he comes up, and I feel badly because I'm like, dude, and he's like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. No, man, we're good. I don't give a shit. And if it's on camera, it's on camera. If I edit it out, I edit it out. Doesn't, or I leave it in. I don't even know. I haven't really looked at it, so we're going to take a look once we get there. If you don't see any interaction, well, then I edited it out. Or it happened off camera. If you do see, you know, a quick edit or something like that, in between, you know, the last set and the drop set, well, then, you know, whatever. Yeah, I can feel my knees while I'm watching this. So again, I don't envy anybody who has harsher knee issues than I do. It's got to be hell, because I have like touches of arthritis. I have just a little bit of buildup, but at the end of the day, it still sucks. I'm not wearing a belt. What I am, I do have my waist trimmer on. So, Coach Matt, don't worry. I'm working out every fucking workout with this waist trimmer on. Every time I do cardio, waist trimmer's on. It is on. And it gives like such little, like baby, tiny, itsy bitsy, barely relevant support. I have grown accustomed. Look, I think the Cybex Smith machine is probably one of the best they make. There's a hammer strength one that I use for, yeah, this is the interaction. Cool dude. Again, see, that was it. That was all of it. Like, that's it. There's no need to whatever. I don't give a shit. Camera's on, camera's off. Fucking come talk to me. I don't care. But the drop set goes straight from 3 plates to 2 plates, and we're done. I didn't feel a need or necessity to go down another plate and do another drop. He just asks for 1 drop, so I'm giving him 1 drop. It's the easiest thing to remove is a plate, and go for it. And I will tell you, at this point, my quads are toasty. Quads are definitely feeling it. And again, like, look, the pre-exhaustion work or the pre-work that you're doing with the leg extensions, I've done that for a long time, and I think it's extremely beneficial. You know, you really want to warm up the knees. You want to warm up the quads. I am still feeling something in my right quad, if I haven't mentioned it before. I'm feeling something there, like extra pressure or whatever. Now, this I find to be almost insane, that we go from a regular squat or a Smith squat into a pendulum squat, especially more, like he writes goblet or pendulum or belt. I think belt squats suck. I think it's more glutes for me there. Not that I'm not getting a good hamstring and glute stretch here, but at the end of the day, the pronated feet and being able to get more of the inner quad definitely is the piece here. But squat to squat, you know, squat to leg press, maybe, which, you know, he gives a lot of different little variations, but I'm choosing the work, or I'm choosing the exercise, and I'm going through them. Maybe if I record this again in 2 or 3 weeks, I'll change the exercises, especially with the options he gives, to keep the workout more interesting. But I do like the philosophy of sticking to 5 or 6 exercises and advancing those 5 or 6 exercises. So, like I mentioned in my hamstring and glute video, the idea that I'm maxing out the lying leg curl, well, now the focus of the job is to get slower on the way up, slower on the way down, or at least slower on the negative in the beginning, and then start to really look at control overall while you're moving the same weight. So if you can't necessarily go up and advance in weight, go and advance in time under tension or how much focus or stress you're putting on that muscle depending on the time that you're spending under load. With this, I didn't realize where the camera angle set up. I'm starting off with 2 quarters, and then I just keep adding quarters. Again, this is like a clean sweep, 10 reps. So I just keep adding quarters until I'm pretty satisfied and toasty. I'm still trying to figure out some of the cadence to the workout. So I want to be able to add or start at, 80% and end at 90%, not start at what seems like 65 and finish at 85. I want to get to that fatigue. I want to get to that failure point a little sooner, so I can, really stress the muscles a little bit more. But that's all the fun part about the growth phase, is being able to experiment, being able to have fun in the gym and, fuck around and find out, so to speak. FAFO. But yeah. So you guys might not see the weight, but I've progressed now. I've got either 5 or 6 quarters on this thing. 3 plates or 3.5 plates, whatever you want to say. But and it's interesting because I can go up to 4 or 5 plates on this, but I can't during this workout because I'm following like pretty heavy Smith machine squats right before this. So, and this camera angle is showing me I definitely need a little bit more bicep development. I don't want to be able to see my chest around my arm. That's how freaky I want my arms. I think, a lot of us kind of sit back and say, hey, I want just giant freaky arms. I know I mentioned that a lot in videos. I'm working on it. But yeah, I'm stretching because in between all these things, I'm posing and doing all the rest. So I got to stretch because everything's just getting so fucking tight. This camera angle, by the way, was chosen because there were people around me. You could see like a hoodie right in the left corner. I didn't want to face a mirror that's in front of me, which is normal, so you guys could see a little bit differently. So now you're just going to get a side shot of the form. And again, you make fun of me all you want. The stress on the quad is still there. My hip movement is great. I really feel it in my upper quad, in my hip. In my glute as I come up, and then obviously as I'm going down on the other leg, I'm feeling more of my teardrop. So, the sensation is there, the load is there, the time under tension is there, the motion may not be complete, like knee to the ground kind of thing, but again, I'm protecting my knees. So when it comes to that, I talk about my rotator, I talk about my knees, I'll talk about my elbows. Like, look, you're only as strong as your weakest joint. And I want everyone to understand that. You are only as strong as your weakest joint. Your muscles can be as strong as hell, but if the joint is not prepared to support whatever you're putting the stress on, and it's not taking the flexation, and the tendons are not necessarily lubricated the way they should be, I feel my foot should be a little further back here. I keep moving it back a little bit. But if it's not, if the joint can't take the stress, you're not going to be able to get through much, if anything. And look, injuries in the gym happen without proper warm-up and without protecting your joints. People could say whatever they want, but look, yes, you get a pec tear and all the rest, but it's stemming from a joint most of the time. And there's certain things there that you can avoid pain and recovery-wise if you just really warm up your joints. You want to get your overall body temperature up, which is why I do the bike for 5 to 10 minutes before my workout, most of the time 10 minutes, but at the end of the day, the joints are just as important. I'd love to hear your philosophies on stretching and foam rolling. I foam roll and stretch after, when there's a good amount of blood flow, there's been a great amount of tension, and obviously the foam rolling is just helping with the recovery and breaking down lactic acid and, just kind of moving things around. Or technically on leg days, like specifically quad days, I'll go get a massage that night. So like once a week, I'll go and snag a massage. I'm excited that I have access to stuff like that. And if you don't, look, foam rolling, you can get a hyper ice gun. You can get Normatec stuff. I call it Normatic, but whatever. You can get Normatec stuff. You can get recovery tools that are, ranging from very inexpensive. Some people still use PVC pipe like they did in CrossFit, or they do in CrossFit. You can go all the way up and grab, really cool hyperbaric, whatever the fuck it is, or the chairs that, do all of this stimulus and all the rest. Doing some sort of recovery after your workout, I think, is extremely valuable. Something that's going to increase blood flow, temperature, alleviate the stress on the muscle. It's never a bad thing. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. So tell me, like, do you guys stretch? Do you guys foam roll? What do you do after a hardcore leg day? What, am I contemplating life here? Let's go. Yeah, no, I'm moving. Yeah. I'm getting tired watching this thing. Last set of these. So far we've done two-legged leg extensions, Smith machine squats, pendulum squats, Smith machine lunges. We're going to go into leg raises or what are step ups. He wants step ups. I actually modify this because I saw I got an exercise from my old coach. Big shout out to Victor Munoz. Got a really cool exercise on this hip machine for the upper part of the quad that I really think is helping my upper quad and like that just like cool sweep right down the center of the quad and that development there. It's really it's coming along nicely, and I really enjoy the exercise. So rectus femoris is the muscle, and I feel it's the same muscle that you'd get in a step up, right? But instead of applying the pressure on your foot, which again, gives me issues with my knees as I'm stepping up, 20 inches or whatever I'm doing, this resistance is now coming from a different direction, but I'm still, it's quasi leg extension, but not. So, yeah, and the development in the upper quad has really been good with these. I did these I started doing these in between the Metros or the Metropolitan and the Universe, and definitely I could see the difference. So I was really excited about that. So I like this exercise. So instead of stepping up onto a box or a padded thing or whatever it is, I'm doing these. Hopefully my coach watches these videos and yells at me and says, nope, step up specifically because of XYZ. Okay, cool. But as far as tension on my joints and all the rest, these have been very good. And you see, look, with the camera movement, and it's just me. I'm sorry, my wife was not able to join. One of us has to work. That we got this video down to like 22 minutes. And this workout was an hour and change. So definitely spending a lot of time in the gym, especially just on quads. But as you can kind of see, the video timeline here, not following someone else. If Jess was here and I was following her with the camera as well, that's, then you double that time and you're pretty much at where we're at, 45 minutes. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what some of these videos look like, especially if I can get in the gym and do shoulders tomorrow and film it, what that'll look like from a truncated video, because I want you guys to watch these videos in their entirety so you guys can see the whole entire workout and also listen to the commentary, some of the little tips and tricks and feedback I give, which, by the way, if you've been doing so, like, subscribe, share, follow, hit the little notification bell so you guys know when videos are dropping. But comment too, because I want to hear, some feedback on, just this quad workout and or keeping quads extremely separated from hamstrings and glutes. That was a famous Jay Cutler posing routine that he went to keep them separated. And that's not the song, but it was about him training quads separate from hamstrings and glutes. And, look, coming from a guy that easily could be nicknamed Quadzilla and initiated the foot stomp, or what is known as the Cutler stomp, I think it's not a bad place or bad company to be in that he's splitting these workouts for me. Stretch and then tension, pushing forward, moving the quads, getting the balls of my feet to ground. It's the little things that add up throughout your day, or throughout your workout, or throughout your week. It's these little W's that you guys can add up into big W's and big wins as the body transforms into what you want it to. And then we're going to finish off with single leg extensions. I'm going to leave you guys here because I am jamming through this. No rest for the weary. I am literally using one leg as the rest period for the next leg. So you guys are just going to see me jam on through this. Again, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys got questions, comments, anything like that with this video, don't hesitate. Reach out, drop them. As you can see through a lot of the comments, I respond, and I respond as fast as I can. So enjoy.